Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Augustine Ponturiero of TriSept. Augustine, thank you very much for joining us. Tell me a little bit more about TriSept because it's quite an interesting company.
Sure. TriSept is a 25-plus year small business. It's a family-owned business, and we focus predominantly on space systems engineering, launch and integration services, and particularly with a focus on launching small satellites. So we've had a very productive run over the past 25 or so years with both government and commercial customers. It's a very good dynamic company. We're in the middle of a little bit of a growth spurt. We're actually rolling out this year 2 brand new capabilities. One in space cybersecurity, where we're building software products that will enhance mission security for both the satellite software and the communications links to the satellite. And then the other one is just general cybersecurity risk management framework type of work to ensure that the end-to-end solution is as secure as it needs to be for the given operation.
Now I'm going to pick you up on a point there, which is cybersecurity.
Okay.
For the last 18 months, everybody's been talking about cybersecurity,
Yes.
but have some people taken their eye off the ball and sort of...
Well, I think the way that it's started to evolve, I think, is much smarter. Before, it was a very hard fence kind of approach, if you will. My words, kind of the way I view it. But it was more like, hey, you have to do all these things or the sky's going to fall. The new approaches are more of a risk management approach, which is it's kind of aligned with systems engineering. It's what people are somewhat more comfortable with. And what it does and what our people are able to do is sit down and have a conversation with the user, and we kind of walk them through processes and procedures and see where their vulnerabilities are and help them to ensure that they've got the most protected status possible, or the most protected architecture that they can have for their solution set.
Now, the market is evolving. People are talking about new space.
Yep.
Well, that obviously plays straight into your hands with satellite integration. How is the market changing for you? What have you seen over the last 24 months? It must have moved dramatically.
Well, over the last 24 to 36 months, we've seen a lot more formalization, if you will, of the small sat market. TriSept has been involved with small sats since their inception, really. So about 12.5 years now, where we've done small sats with universities, the government, commercial industry. In fact, we've launched over 200 satellites in 70 different missions. So we've got a wealth of experience in building small sat missions. We were one of the pioneers in rideshare. So building rideshare missions is in our DNA and will always be in our DNA. We love doing that kind of stuff. What we've seen is more of a formalization of the small sat community. So instead of just experiments or tests, we're seeing a lot more things that are now moving to market where they can provide a product or a service or a set of data that will enable and enhance other businesses and operations. I mean, you've seen it with things like Spire and other companies as well.
Now, you said that you're a small company.
Yes.
How do you compete in the market? Because you're doing extremely well. What is it about? Is it about the engineering? Is it about the quality of people? Or just the quality of the product?
It's about experience. We've got a range of experience across the entire spectrum of space systems operations, whether it's launch and integration, whether it's actually guys designing systems, people bringing those systems to market, operating and controlling those systems after they've launched, using the data that comes back from some of the systems, or applying intelligence, if you will, to that data so that it's more than just a set of numbers or a set of observations or pictures. It's actually real and relevant for a customer. So we're able to do that quite easily with our team. With our experience, though, and especially in our experience in the space domain across the board, as we just talked about, comes a level of dependability and reliability, particularly in launch and integration. Excuse me, not innovative too, but launch and integration. Customers understand us, TriSept, as the go-to person because they can depend on us to get their small satellite launched.
Now, you mentioned some areas there, including defence. What are the key sectors that you're focusing on as you move forward?
So we've got essentially 2 sectors. Commercial space, so we're doing a lot of commercial space launch. On the defense side, we do more of the systems engineering and integration type work. So we have people that will work in conjunction with a program office. For instance, we have support today with NASA, where we provide NASA with some integration capability. We've actually just completed integration of NASA's Alana 32 Andesite mission. Now, Andesite is actually a test that's being done by Boston University, and they're putting up a small satellite that's going to take some readings on Earth's magnetic field. So we were the guys that actually did that integration for NASA on that payload. And it's going to launch on a Rocket Lab launch vehicle here, Electron, in probably the next couple months.
Now, a specialist company, TriSept, quite clearly. But there's always challenges. What are the challenges for your company moving forward in the next 12 months?
Well, there's a lot of people that see space and see the opportunities there from business. I mean, some have called it a $2 trillion economy moving forward. And I think that there's people that will say, hey, we can do this as well. And there are good companies out there that are looking to enter the space market. What they don't have is the pedigree, if you will, and the demonstrated reliability in the market space today. We're excited about the way things are going. Not only are we bringing, as I said, our cybersecurity product to market and our software capability to market, but we are also actually looking at extending our ability to provide launch services to not just the low Earth orbit, but to other orbits around Earth and to a lunar and cislunar capability as well. So we're very excited about the coming year and seeing where it's going.
And finally, geographically, particularly of interest is your announcement about the UK market.
Yes.
Explain a little bit more.
So a couple years ago, we decided to look strategically at where we'd want to branch out into, and UK seemed a perfect place. So we've been over to the Space Catapult. We've had some great conversations over there in Harwell, so just outside of Oxford. And we've actually signed a partnering agreement with Orbex, which is an up-and-coming UK-based launch vehicle company. And we're looking at launching with them. We're planning on and have signed the paper, actually. It's more than just looking at this point, I should say. A launch with them in 2022, which will be a small sat ride-share launch. So we're very excited about working in the UK. We have a plan right now to establish an office over at the Harwell campus sometime by the end of 2020. So you'll see TriSept signs in the UK here shortly too, we hope.
Exciting times. Thank you for talking to us.
Thanks very much. Appreciate your time today.